Hey guys, how are you doing? So as you can see, I'm getting my greenhouse ready. So I bought these sticks here for the tomatoes, and I also got a little bit of soil. As you can see, this here was really expensive because it's organic. And yeah, this is the inside of the greenhouse now. So as you can see, right now I'm putting some plastic inside of the raised beds here. And here you can see some seeds that I want to plant today. And now it's the end of February, and that's the time when you want to plant seeds in greenhouses in my region. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for this tray, my plan is that I'm going to sow some onions, yellow onions, into it. In here I want to plant a tomato. The name is Resi. I'm covering the seeds a little bit, but not too much. Okay, now I want to sow fennel. Hello, kitty. Mitzi, 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 Mitzi. Mitzi, Mitzi. So I want to have some flowers for my bees, and I just put them into this tray here. Okay guys, so let's take a break for a moment and look at this thermometer here. This here is a minima and maxima thermometer, and with this you can measure the minimum temperature and the maximum temperature in a certain period of time. Now I hung up this thermometer here at the beginning of January, and January is the coldest month in the year. And the coldest temperature inside of my greenhouse was -7 degrees Celsius. That's pretty good, because outside it had -15 degrees Celsius. And the warmest temperature inside of the greenhouse was 27 degrees Celsius. So we had a couple of warm days in the past week, and that's why the maximum temperature rose so high. So these kinds of thermometers are really great, and then you know how cold it really gets inside of your greenhouse and which plants you can plant inside of the greenhouse in wintertime. I'm inside of my greenhouse now, and unfortunately the temperature has dropped. So now it has 4 degrees Celsius in here, which is pretty cold. And in the night it's going to get even more cold. So now I want to light a candle inside of the greenhouse to make sure that my plants do not freeze off. And besides that one candle, I also want to light a couple of tea lights. And this last one here is a candle that I've made from beeswax and pine resin. So this is going to burn pretty bright. Okay. Okay, that's it. Let's hope that my seeds will germinate, although it's cold. Alright folks, so now it's 2 weeks later after I have sowed the seeds, and as you can see there's not a lot of germination going on except for this pot here, and here you can see that a cucumber plant is growing, and over there the fennel has germinated and the artichokes as well. And in here I have sown some wildflowers, so they have germinated. And back here we have some onions, which look really nice. And yeah, the cool thing is that the germination is really going so much faster inside of these boxes here. And from now on I just want to do some sowing inside of these boxes. And it's really awesome because it's not only warmer inside here, but also it's catching up the moisture. As you can see, the moisture condenses on the surface, and then the water runs back into the tray. So actually I did not water these 2 containers, or maybe I watered them only once, but for the other pots I had to come like every second day for watering. So yeah, from now on I'm only going to do some sowing inside of these containers, small greenhouse containers, and this is really a dream. And today I want to continue sowing. I want to try out 2 new varieties. Very exotic spinach. So I've never heard of the spinach here and I want to give it a go. And another variety that I want to try is this here. Melothria. It's a Mexican mini cucumber. It looks great and I have no idea if this works here in Austria, but we will find out this year. And besides that, I also want to plant some salad and some celery. Oh yeah, and as you can see I have lit up some candles again because last night it was really cold. We had like 4 degrees Celsius at the evening, and yeah, right now outside it's 9 degrees Celsius and inside here it's 20 degrees. So it's much warmer inside of the greenhouse. It's really unbelievable how good these small greenhouses work. Alright guys, so now it's 3 days later again, and in the meantime I got this here. So now I have running water, and this will make it much easier for me to water my plants. And I also got this here today. This is a garden hose, and today I have to mount this to the wall. And yeah, now let's take a look inside into the greenhouse. Okay, I just want to show you the candles, or the remains of it. And these here, the remainder of it, I don't want to throw away because I want to make some emergency tinder with it. So now I'm collecting the wax, and then I'm going to melt it, and then I'm going to make some wax tinder, which is burning really good. So now I'm working on the lining of the next raised bed, and I'm using some plastic and attach it to the inner walls of the raised beds, and this way it has a little bit of a protection against the rotting process, because if you don't do this, if the wood has direct contact with the soil, then this raised bed here would rot away in about 3 to 5 years. And I really want to preserve my raised beds because, first of all, the wood was very expensive, and second of all, it took me a lot of hours to build them. So I really want to preserve them as long as possible. I'm filling up the raised bed, and the majority of earth is this here, which is some kind of compost soil, which is really rich in nutrients, but this soil here doesn't have any clay content, so this is why it dries out pretty quickly. And this is why I want to mix it with this soil here, which is loamy soil, and this loamy soil has a good capability of water retention. And beside the loamy soil, I also want to mix in this here. This is horn shavings, and it comes from the cow horns. And this is basically pure nitrogen, okay? And I want to sprinkle a little bit of this horn shavings onto my raised bed, because my intention is that I'm going to plant some tomatoes inside of this greenhouse, and tomatoes need a lot of nutrients and especially nitrogen. Okay, this should be enough. And now I cover the rest with this loamy soil here. Okay, here at these pots, there's not a lot of germination going on, and actually I can't wait any longer. So I really need these plants to germinate, and this is why I'm going to set up a small greenhouse using this wire here, like this. Now the heat is going to get trapped inside of the plastic tunnel, and actually I should have done that like 3 weeks ago, because then I already would have some small tomato plants. But yeah, I'm learning as I'm progressing here in the greenhouse, and next year I'm definitely gonna set this up much earlier. Okay, we are outside of the greenhouse now, and now I want to show you something. Underneath here, there's some onion growing, and actually this has been out the entire winter, and here at the right side you can see some spinach, so this also has survived the winter. And onions in general, they are quite winter hardy, and the maximum minimum temperature this winter was minus 15 degrees Celsius, and it's pretty awesome that these onions could survive underneath the plastic sheet here. But now it's really time to dig them out and to set them apart a little bit, because they are growing way too close here. I want to show you something else. This was out in winter all of the year, and as you can see, the Welsh onion is doing great, and even the parsley has survived. And I want to let this grow because parsley needs 2 years to produce seeds, and in this year I can harvest some seeds hopefully. The coriander only needs 1 year to make seeds, and as you can see, these are the seeds that have fallen out of the seed pods last year. But actually I don't want to let this grow because I don't need so much coriander, so I'm just going to leave a small batch here and the rest has to go. Salsify is doing great. The chive has been growing back here pretty good, and here is the caraway, and caraway also needs 2 years to make seeds, so I hope that I can harvest some seeds this year. Alright folks, so now it's the next day, and as you can see I have already removed the coriander, and I also have done some weeding around here, around my raspberries and all of the other berries here. And now I want to sow some seeds. I want to sow some clover, red clover and white clover, and also I want to sow some phacelia. And clover is great because first of all it's a very good bee food, so bees love this and I want to have bees in my garden. And second of all, it's nitrogen fixing, so it accumulates nitrogen and then your plants will give you a better yield, a better harvest. And next I also want to plant a little bit of this phacelia, and my plan is that I want to sow it right beside the raised bed here, and maybe also a row in between the raised bed, because I'm planning to plant some potatoes here this year, and I heard that the plant phacelia is actually a deterrent against the potato beetle. So yeah, this is the first time that I try this out. Okay, now let's start and sow some red clover. So I just sowed the phacelia here, and actually I don't want to have it in my raised bed because I really need the space for other plants. Okay, it's time to get out the onions here because they have grown really high and I really need to take them apart. Okay folks, so I have replanted the onions, and as you can see I have 4 trays now, which is far too much for my small garden, so I have to give some plants away. And also I have replanted the artichokes and the pastinaca, and yeah, let's see how many of these plants will survive and make it through the springtime.